Think you've experienced Disney's best rides? Think again. Disney parks around the world might have the same iconic attractions, but what if we told you each park offers a completely unique experience? From wild frontier adventures on Big Thunder Mountain to haunted tales with surprising twists in the Haunted Mansion, and even pirate battles brought to life like never before, Disney's most famous rides transform depending on where you are. Which version is the most thrilling, the most magical, and the most jaw-dropping? Stay with us as we journey across Disney parks worldwide to uncover how the same rides tell entirely different stories. You won't believe the incredible differences waiting around every corner, or should we say, every park. Our adventure begins in the Wild West with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, where a runaway mine train sends you hurtling through a cursed mining town. But depending on where in the world you ride, your experience takes on completely different thrills. From the dusty canyons of California to the cursed island of Paris and the sprawling mesas of Florida, each Disney park's version of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad tells its own unforgettable story. Our first stop is Disneyland, California, home to the original Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which opened in 1979 in Frontierland. Inspired by the American Gold Rush, the ride's backstory centers on the fictional town of Rainbow Ridge, where miners' greed caused them to dig too deep into Big Thunder Mountain, awakening supernatural forces buried within the earth. As earthquakes, floods, and explosions struck the town, the miners fled, leaving behind an abandoned mining operation where trains still run on their own. The Old West setting comes to life with rusted mining gear, weathered wooden beams, and ominous warning signs hinting at lurking danger. Once aboard the rickety mine train, the adventure kicks into high gear as the train clatters over creaky tracks, navigating sharp twists, sudden drops, and darkened tunnels. The mountain seems alive, as though it's watching you. The train plunges into darkness, entering a bat-filled cavern where glowing red eyes peer from the shadows, and the air thickens with groaning timbers as if the mine shaft might collapse. The ride climaxes with a breathtaking finale, dodging rock slides and roaring waterfalls. The red spires of Utah's Monument Valley inspired the mountain's iconic design, brought to life with 3,500 gallons of paint that create its distinct desert hue. In Disneyland Paris, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad goes bigger, faster, and more intense than anywhere else. Built entirely on an island in the rivers of the Far West, it's Frontierland's centerpiece and one of Disney's most visually stunning attractions. The adventure begins with an unexpected twist. Instead of climbing a hill, the train dives into an underwater tunnel, racing beneath the river in total darkness. Emerging from the depths, you're greeted by towering red cliffs and winding mountain passes inspired by Arizona's Bryce Canyon. The train rockets through narrow canyons, hugs steep cliffs, and plunges down sharp drops, delivering non-stop intensity with every twist of the track. This version's massive landscape feels isolated and untamed, creating a bigger sense of adventure. Adding to the ride's mystery is its interconnected backstory with Phantom Manor, Disneyland Paris's Haunted Mansion. According to Disney lore, Henry Ravenswood, a greedy gold miner, struck it rich in Big Thunder Mountain, but was cursed by the mountain's supernatural powers, dooming his family and the town of Thunder Mesa. This dark twist casts a haunting shadow over the entire ride, making it equal parts thrilling and chilling. Our final stop takes us to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, where Big Thunder Mountain Railroad opened in 1980. Slightly longer and faster than its California counterpart, this version features a sprawling layout inspired by the towering rock formations of Bryce Canyon National Park. The setting is breathtaking, with multicolored mesas, weather-beaten cliffs, and craggy spires that create a true Western mining adventure. The tracks weave through crumbling mine shafts, exploding geysers, and shaky wooden bridges, adding an ever-present sense of danger. The journey begins with a slow, suspenseful climb up a rickety wooden incline, where the sound of creaking rails and the distant howl of the wind set a foreboding tone. Suddenly, the train plunges into action, sending riders into hairpin turns, dark tunnels, and explosive encounters. One of the ride's most thrilling moments comes when the train speeds past erupting geysers, as though the mountain itself is fighting back, determined to keep its secrets buried. Adding to the adventure is the ride's interactive queue, where guests can trigger explosions, set off water effects, and uncover hidden mining relics. A fun way to build anticipation before the wild adventure begins. Prepare for liftoff as we explore Space Mountain, one of Disney's most iconic attractions, offering interstellar thrills across its global parks. But each version of Space Mountain offers a completely unique experience, from the classic space-age nostalgia of Florida to the high-speed galactic battles of Paris. Let's blast off and see how this legendary attraction transforms around the world. Our first stop is Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, where Space Mountain debuted in 1975, becoming Disney's first indoor roller coaster. Created during the height of the 1970s space race, its design reflects retro-futuristic visions of space travel. It was so groundbreaking that NASA astronauts from the Mercury and Apollo missions even attended its opening ceremony. Its towering white conical structure is instantly recognizable, serving as a symbol of adventure for the entire park. Florida's Space Mountain is the only version with two separate tracks, Alpha and Omega, each offering slightly different ride experiences. True Disney fans know that Alpha is a few feet longer, making every launch a little more intense. Inside the futuristic queue, you're greeted by blinking control panels, departure gates, and robotic announcements, setting the stage for an epic space mission. Once aboard your rocket ship, the ride launches into total darkness, where stars, comets, and galaxies streak past as your ship twists, dives, and races through the cosmos. With its tight turns, sudden drops, and disorienting spins, Space Mountain, Florida feels like a true space race, where gravity disappears and adventure awaits at every turn. Its minimalist special effects may seem retro, but its nostalgic thrills have kept it a fan favorite for nearly 50 years. Next, we jump across the country to Disneyland, California, where Space Mountain opened in 1977, just 2 years after Florida's version. But this ride takes a very different approach. It's smoother, faster, and more family-friendly, blending classic thrills with modern Disney magic. Unlike Florida's dual-track layout, Disneyland's Space Mountain features a single continuous track, designed for a sleeker, streamlined ride. From the moment you enter its futuristic launch station, with its mid-century sci-fi design, you know you're in for something extraordinary. In 2005, the ride received a major upgrade, transforming it into a multi-sensory adventure, complete with a synchronized musical score by Michael Giacchino. As your rocket ship climbs, an orchestral electronic soundtrack builds tension and excitement, perfectly synchronized with the ride's sudden drops, tight turns, and sharply banked curves. Seasonal overlays keep the experience fresh year-round, making Space Mountain, California a ride that always feels new. During Hyperspace Mountain, riders are thrust into a Star Wars space battle, dodging TIE fighters and engaging in laser-blasting combat. In the Halloween-themed Ghost Galaxy, a terrifying space phantom chases your ship through haunted starfields filled with chilling projections and spine-tingling sound effects. These rotating adventures ensure that even longtime Disney fans never know exactly what to expect when they board this timeless interstellar adventure. For the ultimate thrill, we head to Disneyland Paris, home to the most intense version of Space Mountain. Originally opened in 1995 as Space Mountain, From the Earth to the Moon, this version was inspired by Jules Verne's classic novel. Its steampunk aesthetic and Victorian-era space technology created a visually stunning, one-of-a-kind ride. But Disneyland Paris took things even further, reimagining the ride into Hyperspace Mountain, transforming it into the most extreme space mountain on the planet. It's the only version with upside-down inversions, corkscrews, and a high-speed launch, accelerating from 0 to 44 miles per hour in seconds. The action starts immediately, catapulting riders into darkness, where massive star destroyers, blaster fire, and explosive space battles rage on all sides. Darth Vader's menacing breathing and the iconic Star Wars soundtrack make you feel like you've been thrust into a galactic war, dodging laser blasts at breakneck speed. With its blinding speed, intense ride mechanics, and state-of-the-art effects, Space Mountain Paris is a true thrill-seeker's dream, earning its reputation as the most intense Space Mountain experience in the Disney universe. Leaving the stars behind, we set sail on the high seas with Pirates of the Caribbean, one of Disney's most iconic attractions. Depending on where you board your boat, your adventure might take a very different turn. From the bayous of Louisiana to the stormy Spanish forts of Europe and the treacherous depths of Shanghai's oceans, Pirates of the Caribbean transforms into a unique experience in every Disney park. Our journey begins at Disneyland, California, home of the original Pirates of the Caribbean, which opened in 1967 as one of Walt Disney's final personally supervised projects. Originally planned as a walk-through wax museum, the attraction evolved into a boat ride thanks to audio animatronics technology, bringing lifelike pirates to life for the first time. The adventure begins quietly in a peaceful Louisiana bayou, where fireflies twinkle and a lone banjo player strums a haunting melody from the porch of a distant shack. This serene intro sets the stage perfectly, until your boat plunges down a dark waterfall, crashing into a stormy pirate world filled with chaos and adventure. You find yourself in the middle of a cannonball-filled naval battle, where a pirate ship led by Captain Barbossa attacks a Spanish fort. Cannon fire booms, water splashes, and smoke fills the air, making you feel as though you've sailed into the heart of the battle. The adventure continues through a burning seaside village, where rowdy pirates plunder and sing the iconic yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Even after 5 decades, Disney's legendary animatronics remain charming and lifelike. In more recent years, Captain Jack Sparrow from Disney's film series has joined the adventure, sneaking through scenes in search of hidden treasure. Next, we cross the Atlantic to Disneyland Paris, where Pirates of the Caribbean takes a darker, more intense approach. Opened in 1992, this version is longer and more cinematic, with bigger sets, scarier animatronics, and a foreboding backstory. The adventure begins with an unexpected twist. Instead of plunging down a waterfall, your boat climbs an eerie lift hill, accompanied by creaking chains and distant cannon fire. As you reach the top, you emerge into a world of menacing pirate ships, crumbling fortresses, and ghostly echoes of past battles. The Spanish fortress facade outside the ride already suggests danger, and inside, the pirates are fiercer and more ruthless, their faces scarred and weathered. The ride's cursed skeletons, stormy seas, and imprisoned sailors create an ominous atmosphere that feels darker than the California version. 2 dramatic drops send your boat plummeting into crashing waves, narrowly escaping an exploding battle scene. In the final moments, you find yourself in a treasure-filled cavern where Captain Jack Sparrow sings yo ho, surrounded by glittering piles of gold. For the most revolutionary version of Pirates of the Caribbean, we travel to Shanghai Disneyland, where Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for Sunken Treasure has completely redefined what a theme park attraction can be. Opened in 2016, this ride is nothing like its predecessors. It uses trackless boat technology, state-of-the-art special effects, and massive projection screens to create a fully immersive cinematic experience. Your adventure begins aboard a ghostly shipwreck, where enchanted waters guide your trackless boat into the depths of Davy Jones's lair. As you drift through an underwater world, sunken ships, ancient curses, and looming dangers come to life through hyper-realistic visuals. One of the ride's most breathtaking moments comes when Captain Jack Sparrow leads you into the abyss, a swirling vortex of waterfalls, giant tentacles, and treacherous whirlpools. Unlike traditional boat rides, your vehicle can spin, reverse, and even turn sideways, making it feel like you're truly at sea. As the final showdown nears, you'll face Davy Jones, the Kraken, and an armada of ghostly pirate ships in a jaw-dropping finale, where Sparrow triumphs once again. Shanghai's Pirates of the Caribbean is a technical marvel, blending real sets with stunning projections, creating a movie-like experience that's completely unforgettable. Our final stop takes us into the shadowy world of the supernatural, where ghostly tales shift depending on where you encounter the haunted mansion. Each park offers a unique spin, blending eerie storytelling, haunting visuals, and Disney magic. Some mansions are spooky but fun, while others dive into darker, more chilling legends. Let's uncover how Disney's 999 happy haunts come to life around the world. We begin with Disneyland, California, and Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, home to the original Haunted Mansions, where spooky fun meets family-friendly thrills. Disneyland's Haunted Mansion opened in 1969, inspired by a New Orleans-style plantation house, while Walt Disney World's version followed in 1971, featuring a Gothic revival mansion overlooking Liberty Square. Both exteriors are hauntingly beautiful, blending elegance with foreboding charm. Inside, the adventure begins in the stretching room, where portraits reveal grim fates, setting a chilling tone. Guests board doom buggies and glide through dusty libraries, cobweb-covered ballrooms, and ghost-filled graveyards where spirits come to life. Highlights include Madame Leota's seance room, where her floating head chants mystical incantations, and the Grand Ballroom, where ghostly dancers twirl beneath swinging chandeliers, brought to life with Disney's famous Pepper's Ghost Illusion. The ride's graveyard finale erupts in spectral celebration, with singing spirits and haunting musicians performing grim, grinning ghosts. Every twist is equal parts spooky and fun, making these mansions Disney legends. Seasonal overlays like Disneyland's Haunted Mansion Holiday, featuring Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas, keep the attraction fresh and exciting year-round. In Disneyland Paris, Phantom Manor offers a much darker experience, steeped in Frontierland's mysterious backstory. Opened in 1992, its dilapidated Gothic facade, inspired by Hitchcock's Psycho, looms over the town of Thunder Mesa, hinting at a tragic past. According to Disney lore, the mansion belonged to Henry Ravenswood, a greedy prospector cursed after striking gold in Big Thunder Mountain. His daughter, Melanie Ravenswood, was left abandoned at the altar, her groom mysteriously vanishing, or worse. Inside the manor, Melanie's ghost roams the decaying halls, still waiting for her lost love. The sinister phantom, a hooded figure, appears repeatedly, mocking her misery and ensuring no escape. Haunting scenes include the abandoned wedding chapel, dust-covered dining rooms, and a crumbling underworld filled with cursed skeletons and endless crypts. John Debney's haunting score elevates the ride's cinematic tension, making Phantom Manor a truly chilling experience. At Hong Kong Disneyland, Mystic Manor reinvents the haunted house concept with no ghosts at all. Opened in 2013, it's a whimsical, magical adventure, powered by enchanted artifacts and mystical mischief. The manor belongs to Lord Henry Mystic, a curious explorer and member of SEA, Society of Explorers and Adventurers. His mischievous monkey, Albert, accidentally unlocks the power of the enchanted music box, bringing the entire manor to life. Magical rooms include the solarium, where living plants stretch out toward guests, the Egyptian hall, where ancient relics awaken, and the music room, where floating instruments play mystical melodies. Using trackless ride vehicles, projection mapping, and state-of-the-art animatronics, Mystic Manor creates a one-of-a-kind Disney experience, blending magic, mystery, and adventure in a way that's both enchanting and unforgettable. From runaway trains and space missions to ghostly encounters and epic battles on the high seas, Disney parks around the globe bring iconic attractions to life in ways you've never imagined. Which version would you ride first? Have you experienced them all? Let us know in the comments what your favorite Disney park ride is and which destination is at the top of your bucket list. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to join us on more magical adventures from every Disney park around the world. The magic is waiting. See you on the next ride.